Warning: graphic pest control video ahead. Do not watch if you might be offended. If, however, you really like watching pest control videos, then hello again and welcome to the Squirrel Hunter channel. Please continue and watch us as we control pest populations with silenced air rifles here in the UK. If you have any questions, can you please check the description below first to see if it's already been answered and for some useful links. Thank you. I'm out at the Pick Your Own farm, just checking the feeders. We haven't been here for a while. I needed to have a look to assess whether it was worth a visit or not. This is where we've moved our one feeder to. Thank you, Mr. Horsley, for making that for us. You can see it's had a pretty good beating and it's empty. No more wheat in there. So something's been on it because it's an open feeder. All sorts can have a feed. This being a feeder that Bro traditionally shoots down the bottom of the field. I don't know why we don't change more often. This is the one I normally shoot up the top of the hill by the water tank. You can see it's had a beating as well. This is prior to putting a little flap on it so the pheasants can get at it, and they have indeed been at it. This was back from a time when we were using the plank still. Anyway, quick call to Bro when I got home. We arranged several days later to come back first thing in the morning. It was pretty dark, but on approach we spotted a couple of foxes in the distance. I do believe that's what they were. Got the sight of their eyes in the headlights. We didn't come here to shoot foxes, we came here after squirrels. That's Bro's equipment, fairly standard stuff if you watch our videos normally. You know he likes the parapel. As you can see, he's forgotten his tripod, so I'm going to start including footage where it doesn't go so well for us. It's given a false impression, showing you all the better days, and I apologise for that. I never thought that'd be the problem. We get out quite a lot. Sometimes it doesn't go to plan. Sometimes you get a few, sometimes you get none at all. And every so often you have a little blip and you forget your equipment. Fail to put milk in the tea, etc, etc. Bro's going to go onto scope cam in a minute. You can see the squirrel on the ground. This is unfortunately all the footage he got. He's tracking that now. Whitetail classic scope is on the top of this rifle. Not the Hawke Sport HD that was in the original picture. We do swap and change a bit. Nothing wrong with that. The parapel's hit it straight to the head. And a few nervous twitches, and that's dead. And squirrel 2 on the feeder. Quick freehand and over to the scope cam. This is more like it. Nice straight on head shot. Quite calm looking. Those little head movements, just enough to pull the head out of the line. Got to be ever so patient. Shooting them quicker, it's not going to do any good at all. Pays to be patient. This one seems to have spotted him. He judged that one just nicely. Head came to a rest. The pellet found the top of its skull. Nothing wrong with that. Judging by a few of the comments lately, bit of scope cam is what you tend to prefer. Well, this is some old footage, as you can see. Not too much movement off that. I think that was pretty much a straight on shot, and the pellets tend to track down into the bodies of them. Getting back to freehand. The pheasant comes in, doesn't care about the corpses. We don't shoot them here. Got no interest in that. This was the end of Bro's day. Just the 2. That was the last one he shot. So as stated earlier, sometimes you don't get that many. That's because we pressure them a lot. Over to me now. I'm using my Theban Rapid .20 caliber F.A.C rated, shooting crossbow premiers, hoping to get on the feeder and bag a few. As you can see from before, I'm sat in the hide when it's pitch black. Can't see a thing. We have the sniper cam on. Always a useful thing in low light conditions to have some sort of night vision equipment or something they can see in low light. There's some geese honking away in the distance. It's always a bit of a one to judge sometimes. It's how long it takes to get to the permission and get set up correctly. Nothing worse than rocking up when it's daylight and spooking one off the feeder, which could have been your first one in the bag. I can see properly now. The world's waking up. It's quite a cold day. I've got a squirrel on the floor. It's coming from the side, and I've got the camera on him. And as per usual, I've got the cameras going first. Then I'll try and raise the rifle up and get it at the hole in the hide. Turn on the sniper cam and draw a bead on him. See if I can see him in the scope. There he is. If he sits there still, I'll shoot him where he sits. Just like that. Nothing wrong with that. Pellet's gone straight down through the skull. It rolled over pretty well. Just a few nervous kicks now. See the link in the description why this happens. There's nothing wrong with the shot. Plenty of power. Pellet's probably gone down into the body with that shot. It's all over for Mr. Squirrel. So I'm on 1. Not too bad. Usually this time of year, these feeders work a treat. And here comes another one from the same direction as the last one did, in from the right. They pretty much run out of their natural food. And this food source is just like putting cheese on a mousetrap. And this video is compromised by the fact I've accidentally turned it on when I shouldn't have. So when I do go to press it for on, I actually turn it off. So all I got was this footage with a scope cam, which is fortunate I had a second one. Nice and still with the head. I take the shot. What happened there? I've just realised that the camera was actually off and turned it on, just in time to capture this happening. Makes a miraculous recovery. It crawls around a tree, quite clearly unwell. Well, that's no good at all. Immediate reaction then, when I realise what's gone on. Exit the hide quickly with a rifle. I'm not sure what's gone on at the moment. We'll analyse it in a minute. I know what's happened now, in hindsight, with the ability to see the footage. But at this moment in time, I've got a wounded squirrel on the ground, which does happen on occasion. You should do your utmost to make sure that never happens. But in reality, it does, I'm afraid. I've seen it around the back of that tree now. I've gone around the other side ever so quietly. It's in amongst the sticks. I dispatch it with a point blank shot to the top of the head. These things do happen. This is the thing about the headshots. You've got to get them still. And this is the point I'd committed in my mind to take the shot. Straight into the thick part of the skull. And right as I go to take the shot, I actually release it. Nanoseconds later, the head moves to the side. It wasn't a very good headshot. Missed the brain. Hence the holding the head up and the crawling away. They usually hold their head very still on the peanut butter, but these things happen. I go back to waiting. It's my setup. Camera on the left, rifle on the right. On the sticks, you can see the rain on the Hugget moderator there. Not a nice day. I'm getting a bit fed up by the look of it. I've had a test shot, but nothing else has come. I know the rifle's still on. I knew it must have been something else at the time. So I go to pick up my kills. 2 for me and 2 for bro. That's the first one. No mess in there. Barely a movement off that one. I was more than happy with that shot. It's a very disappointing shot. You can see where it got. Wedged its nose up against that tree. That's where I shot it to kill it, straight in the top of there. At this point I couldn't work out where I'd got it. I think I might have gone down the side of its head, even into the body. Another reason I don't like body shots. It's far too difficult to pick out the heart and lungs. I'd much rather go for a headshot. I'm off in the car now. Round to pick bro up. Have a look at the corvids round here. And pheasants on the move. Must have been staring a bit hard at this one. Quite a few around this area. Find their way with them pheasant shoots. Wander around. The other doesn't seem to have a problem with them. There's a few of those crows and jackdaws in the distance. I'll definitely have to target them. I know I keep saying it, but I will eventually. There's my two with the rapid. And there they are, all together in the back of the car, ready to go off to the scouts. We'll be skinning them and eating them. Here's another day, 2nd of March, another feeder check, and it's empty again. Too easy for other things to get on it and eat the wheat. The squirrels tend to chew a hole in it, rip bits off just to let you know they've been there. Same location as last time for Bro. But look around, there's rabbit holes nearby him as well. There's a possibility of rabbits. I've checked this feeder at the top. It's pretty much empty. The last bit that hasn't dropped down. So I top them all up again. Give Bro a call, tell him we need to get out here and sort them out. Same picture again. Got the wrong scope on. Same power pals again. We trip off on the 7th. So we give it 5 days for them to become reacquainted with the fact there's food in the feeders, and drop in quietly one morning and get set up. This is Bro looking at the little feeder down the bottom of the hill. Chucked a few bits on the ground as well, get a bit of songbird activity. And there's plenty around here, even with life. They do benefit from keeping the squirrel numbers down as well. We're at a tractor not far away. Bro's not seeing any grey squirrels or any other pests at the moment. He sees lots of songbirds, and like me, can't wait to get them on film. Sit there observing them. Beautiful animals. Watching them go about their daily life. And he spotted something now. Not a squirrel, a big fat rabbit. He just can't scope come on this. It's too difficult to track it with the other camera as well as look down the scope. I'm going to line up on it and take a shot. You see the break in the editing just there. He's scanning for it now on the ground. He ripped the camera off the back and had to take a quick second shot. I didn't want to mess about with scope cam. Caught it a bit too low, as you'll see in a minute. The second shot was good. Kicking about on the floor a bit. He managed to shoot it from the hide. Again, the headshot wasn't clean, but didn't get very far, which is fairly normal. That's the point at which he pulled the trigger. A little bit low really, base of the brain. So when he shot it and it ran sideways, didn't get far, crumpled up. Over to me now, back with a rapid again, shooting across from premiers. Bro's only on a rabbit for the day, never saw a squirrel at all. And I'm sat in the hide. I'm aiming at that little spinner. There we go. Nothing wrong with that. Gun's spot on. Always pays to test your zero before you go shooting. Never know what might happen. And we got a squirrel on the feeder straight away. From memory, this one came quite quickly. Sometimes you can get them on the feeder and spook them when you arrive. Within a couple of minutes of getting in the hide, they come back again. That one came in. Don't know what upset it. It's legged down the hill somewhere. Not to be seen. That's really annoying when that happens. I thought I was in straight away. See dawn over the mountains. Sun's behind me. So as it breaks the top of the hills and the trees, I'm still in shadow. It's lighting up the distance. And joy of joys, started to rain. You can just hear it pattering on the roof of the pop-up hide. And the sun's come out a bit more. That big woodland over there. Over to the right. That's where Brev's got his permission to shoot. On the back of a 400-acre wood. I'm doing pretty much what Bro was doing in his bit of filming the wildlife. Lots of field fares, redwings, all sorts of finches around here. It's very good to see. Some birds we see quite often, like the infamous robin. So I was quite surprised by this one that pops up. You see in the bottom right hand corner. The woodpecker's arrived. And there he is. I say it's a he. See that red spot on the back of his head, just about make it out there? That denotes he's a male. We've had males and females visit the feeder in the past. They do like peanuts, and they eat insects obviously. Bash away on the trees, dig them out. We've even got that on film on some of the earlier videos. I was very impressed to see this fella though. There's another one appeared on the feeder. That's the second one, believe it or not. So we've got 2 male woodpeckers on the feeder. And I can only assume, being as it's early in the year, this is some sort of territorial battle. Not that they're very demonstrative. Seems to be just hanging about, chilling. Beneath those beady little eyes, I think he wants to fight the other one. Maybe he's just doing what we do. Sit quietly and wait till your target appears. Beautiful bird anyway. Like I said before, the red dot on the back of the head denotes a male. I think the female might have a black head. I'll have to check that. The juveniles have got a red cap. So you can even tell the youngsters apart on this species. Makes a change from the robins. Oh dear. Looks like he's target acquired. There we go. It's interesting bit of animal behaviour. They obviously know each other to the other side of the tree. I'm not going to go at it beak and claw, so to speak. It's the extent of woodpecker violence. Not quite sure if they're talking to each other around the back of that tree, making noises maybe. Looking for a bit of jostling. And they leave the scene. Fair made my day, that did. There's the second one gone. Anyway, this time I've actually managed to put milk in my tea. Time for a cuppa. And a quick rerun on the video recorder of those beautiful birds. I spot a few more. I make no apologies for filming them and showing them to yourselves. You can always fast forward it if you're not interested. I just like the bird song and the sights and sounds. Like I said before, not all of our videos are populated with dead squirrel bodies everywhere. The fact we visit so often tends to keep the numbers down, which is why we believe it to be an efficient and effective form of pest control. We keep on top of the numbers, and the landowners are happy. Also, a lot of other wildlife does benefit, as I said before. Squirrels will take the eggs and young of songbirds. When you offer them a free feed, they'll sit there quite comfortably like that. I think it might have spotted me there. That's unfortunate. I haven't brought the sniper cam with me today. That one didn't get too far. I wasn't going to have another one run away on me. Tracked it, and as it's paused, hit it straight through the side of the head. This one has quite a thrash around, but the pellet has gone straight through the brain. And the disinhibition of the neurons in the spine, causing the back legs to kick. That one's not lifting its head up, as the other one did, which is a dead giveaway that the shot was rubbish. Nothing wrong with that shot though. Mr. Pheasant stalking in. Quite a measured approach if you watch them walking around. Quite a stealthy bird really, despite the fact they're painted in bright colours. I think they come in quietly like that just in case there's another male around. Back of the tree, quick look, head down. No one's about. At this point this feeder was quite low down and got no lid on it. Anything and everything can have a feed. did suspect badgers getting it at one point. So now it's much further up the tree. It's got a little lid on it, as you might have seen in some other videos. Look who's back. Back again. Wood is back without his friend. He's gone again. Oh, look, a robin. That's unusual. A magpie in the background. What have I seen on the ground? Oh, look, it's a squirrel. This is more like it. That's what we came here for. Been waiting for ages for this one. It's picking up the grains on the floor dropped by the pheasant and lining up on it for a shot. And I shot straight over the top of it. Would you believe it? Totally missed it. Got no answer for that one as to why I missed it. At that point, I gave up, which is my usual response to something like that. I've got no reason why I missed it. I can't continue in all conscience. First one went down sweet because it's on a bit of a hill. It's kicked sideways and rolled down onto the road. Second squirrel, totally missed it. Very unusual. It's a rare occurrence. I'm not just saying that, it is on the feeder. You follow the wait for they sit up rule. Not entirely sure what happened there. Barrel was out to hide. You can feel the plates of his head moving a bit. Straight through the side. That was the side I shot him on. Off to pick Bro up. Just a one big fat bunny. Cuz had that one to eat. Looks like an exit wound there. Maybe that's a second shot, I don't know. So one squirrel, one bunny, and a miss. Pretty rubbish numbers. You can see why this video never aired before. But in the interest of balance, you're getting to see it now. Anyway, enough of that. Another dark morning. This is Bro, sat in the hide. Again at first light. Different location completely. He's jostling around, trying to sort his stuff out. And as per usual, Air Arms S410 with a Simmons scope on the top, launching power pals. And you'll recognise this feeder. It's only a small wood. Can't help but get a robin in frame. Do like these little birds, full of attitude. Always get on our camera. This is why we came here, or even Bro came here. Get these fellas. This one's come straight in. You're just got to wait for it to sit up. And if you follow the normal mantra, let them go to a feeding pattern. Watch them for a second or two to judge. When you're happy, let loose a shot. Straight to the ground, then it has a bit of a kickabout. Power pals tend to do a very good job on a thin skull of a squirrel. This is only a small wood, despite the fact it's only small. Squirrels get in here, which is right by their owner's house. And they get into his vegetable garden, they get on his nut trees, and it's generally causing nuisance. There's a second squirrel come in, checking the one out on the floor. It's normal behaviour. Come over and duff the one up sometimes have a sniff. Doesn't seem to be too bothered, does he? Bro's got the camera pretty much with the feeder in line. Now he's elected to track the squirrel more to the left. Even that short ivy is causing a bit of a problem with seeing the squirrel on the ground. We start to trim back these places, or pick a place where there's nothing on the ground. It does help if you need a secondary shot, or even just for clarity. That one's found some spilt grain. Could be in trouble if it's going to sit there. And there's the beep of the scope cam. Bro's got it to his shoulder. Look looking at the screen of the camera, trying to pick up the squirrel. And there he is on the ground. If he sits upright, that's where he'll be staying. But he's showing no signs of that. He's edging towards the feeder. That's more like it. We get typical behaviour by the look of it. This is quite an interesting bit of footage. I know what I thought happened when I saw this. Bro starts to line up on him. He's weighing it up. I thought the squirrel lifted up the lid and used it like a shield and deflected the pellet. He's totally been missed. Perfectly healthy, just a bit confused. Not even that startled. He's gone for a wander off into the bushes. Horrible when that happens, but at least it's not been injured. I did think it had hit the lid. Here's 7 frames, all continuous right up to the shot. And you see the head started to move. Bro's already decided he's going to take the shot. My camera runs at about 30 frames a second, so these 7 frames account for quite a fraction of a second. You can see how much the head's moved in the time. The crosshairs are more and more off the target. In fact, they are off the target, and that's the point. I do believe he's physically let loose the trigger. The squirrel's nowhere to be seen. I think the slap we heard was a lid being dropped by a startled squirrel. I can't be 100% sure. I do believe this squirrel is the same one coming back in. According to Bro, within a few minutes the other one wandered off and came from the same direction. So I'd like to think it was the same one. About to make the same mistake twice. It's going to sit up on that branch. Those branches were put there to stabilise the feeder and also allow them to sit on it, survey the situation. They also produce a pretty good target when they sit like that. It's looking straight at Bro now, which could be a life-threatening thing to do. Bro's moving ever so slowly, getting his rifle up. The beep should tell you the camera's going to be on. And that's where he's going to take the shot if he sits still. Just about now. No messing. Totally stoned that one. Straight on headshot. Straight to the ground. So to check through the scope and move the main camera to the floor. No doubting the way that fell. Totally poleaxed. No second chances here, I'm afraid. It's always satisfying to make the shot a good one. We do take a lot of trouble, time and effort. You can hear some squawking going on up the tree somewhere. This is straight after that last one was shot. Bro's looking for it. It's difficult to see sometimes, but if you look over to the left, that's where it is. It's easy with the film. You can see it moving bottom left hand corner of the screen now. He still hasn't spotted it. There's no shot for him anyway. Pellet will just launch into the field behind, which is unsafe. There's livestock and all sorts out there. So you've got to be mindful of where the pellet's going to go should you miss. Or even a direct hit on the squirrel's head. Pellets will very often go through. There's plenty of power in an air rifle, more than enough to take small game humanely and quickly. Then we have a squirrel coming down the tree to the right of the screen even. There it is on the branch. Looking good so far. I very often choose to come in on those routes and see the ones on the floor. Tail flicking, giving that fact away. Not entirely happy with that. Could be having us a skittish squirrel here. To the side of that feeder. See by the angle it's looking at the ground. They very rarely depart the scene. They usually have a good old look. When the belly rumbles, they'll come to feed. But again, if it sits on that branch, could be in deep trouble. Bro's got the scope cam on it. Elected to edit this bit out, just for clarity reasons. This squirrel's having a bit of a mess about. It happens. There's absolutely no need to rush. Just got to make sure it's happy. The ones on the ground aren't going to cause it a problem. They're not clever enough to work out that there's two dead ones on the floor, and they might be in trouble themselves. Else we wouldn't make so many videos. Putting this forward as an excellent way to reduce their numbers. Back up on the post again he goes. Bro's lining up on him. It's frozen. He's going to take the shot in a second. Just like that. Toes up time for Mr. Squirrel. For some reason, there's not much kicking off of that one. There we go. A little bit of back leg activity. Looks like we've got another visitor. Farm cat's come to have a look. Pays to keep an eye on what's around. Not sure what he makes of the proceedings. But Bro's had enough for the day. He gives up. Goes to inspect his kills. Bleeding from the ear. Always a good sign. No runaways with this lot. This is pretty much how it happens all the time. In this video we've included some oddball moments when things haven't gone quite right. Can't argue with that though, straight in the top of the head. Which is pretty much how it always goes, barring the few occasions we showed you today. 3 down. Not a bad day out for a little wood. Just like the video from a few weeks back, getting it straight. Not every day out is a bumper day out, and not every day out does it always go to plan. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.